With the release of The Conjuring Last Rites, we now have 10 Conjuring universe movies, so I can finally go through and rank these movies again, because I did it back when there was only 8 Conjuring universe movies, and I wanted to do another video when The Nun 2 came out, but I didn't want to do a new video so soon after my original ranking, and I mean, it's The Nun 2. No one really cares about it, so I didn't do a video then, and I waited until The Conjuring Last Rites came out. This was my most anticipated film of the year. I have some thoughts on that movie, and some thoughts on the other 10, so let's get into it. Coming in at number 10, this was not really much of a competition. There's some bad movies in this franchise for sure, but clearly my number 10 is Annabelle. Now, I've been seeing some people that are like starting to defend Annabelle, so it's not really as bad as a lot of people are saying. So then I went into it and I was like, okay, so maybe it's just going to be like an average watchable movie. And the first time I watched it, I fell asleep. And I don't fall asleep during movies, but it was that just boring that I legitimately fell asleep during it. So then I woke up and I watched it again the next day, and I can see why I fell asleep. It is boring. Like, it is a drag to get through. This movie's, I think, like only an hour and a half, but it feels like it's 3 hours. Nothing happens for so long. There's no stakes. Every single scare, every jump scare is predictable. You see it coming from a mile away. It's so forgettable that, like, when I did my original video, I had seen Annabelle like 2 months prior and I didn't even know anything about it. I barely even talked about it because it's so forgettable. And not only that, but you need to see Annabelle creation to understand what's going on in this movie. That is so unbelievably stupid that we're supposed to watch a movie that doesn't exist yet for this movie to make sense. This movie should function as its own movie on its own without having to watch a prequel that's only going to come out in 4 years or whenever it came out. So I really, really do not like Annabelle. Annabelle is a scary, iconic villain, but this movie is not good. Coming in at number 9, we have now entered the portion of the list that is just forgettable. Like, it's just, like, there's 4 in this franchise that is just, eh. Now, these next 3 could pretty much all be tied, but I did go with The Nun. Now, it just came, like, as I like the other 2 more. It's just so boring. It's so boring and predictable. Literally, every single scare in this movie, I could count it down pretty much. Like, you know, the music is swelling, and then it dies down, and then 3, 2, 1... boom, there's the jump scare. And it happened like 10 times in this movie where I literally was like, all right, and 3, 2, 1. And there it is. Yep. This movie ruins The Nun. Now, The Nun is an iconic, horrifying villain in The Conjuring 2. She is amazing. One of the highlights of that movie. But they completely destroy her character, everything in this, because she's not scary, she's not intimidating, she's not a threat, she's literally just there to give us some jump scares. It's also very confusing that they cast a Vera Farmiga's sister, considering Vera Farmiga is Lorraine Warren in the Conjuring universe. So I was going through the whole movie being like, oh, is it gonna be like a twist that she's like an ancestor of Lorraine? Nah, no relation, just happens to be her sister. I do have a couple positives. I like the setting. And the characters are somewhat likable. Coming in at number 8, I have The Nun 2. Both of these movies are just boring. This one is a little bit less forgettable, a little bit better. The characters are a little bit better, and it has a few scenes that I at least remember and can say, oh yeah, that was a good one. I remember really liking the characters in this, but it's still not a movie I like or would ever want to rewatch. The only reason it's above The Nun is because it has less bad stuff. It doesn't necessarily have more good stuff, it just has less that I dislike about it, you know? Yeah, I don't know either. Coming in at number 7, we have The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Now, besides it being an awful, horrendous, super long title, Conjuring 3 was a huge disappointment because, as I said at the beginning, Conjuring 4 was my most anticipated film of the year. I love the Conjuring movies, the first two. So when I watched the first two, and I was like, oh my god, this franchise is good. All right, put in the third one. Oh no. Like literally like right at the beginning you have that kid like folded over in half doing the demon face thing. It's just oh my god. Oh my god. The CGI not only in that scene but in many of the other scenes awful, like genuinely horrendous. Like it ripped me out of the movie so many times. I was like, "Oh, what the like that's terrible." And I think most of the things that don't work about this movie is because they don't have James Wan. James Wan is not directing it like he did the first two. They passed it off to the guy who did the Curse of La Llorona. So yeah, there are some good things. Ed and Lorraine, they're still good. There was a couple of good scenes, and I was scared by maybe 2 seconds of it. Otherwise, it is completely boring. It feels pointless. It feels pointless. Like in the new movie, the new one, the fourth one, they at least reference the first two like pretty heavily. They just kind of forget this one even exists. I think even the Conjuring universe is trying to shove this one under the rug. It's basic as like everything it does is already been seen before in any other ghost movie you've seen in your life. It's boring. There's again awful CG. It's forgettable. It tarnishes the Conjuring name. Like this could have been a genuinely like perfect franchise. Like the first four Conjuring or the four Conjuring movies, not the universe, but the Conjuring could have been a perfect franchise. But this absolute stinker is in there. And the villain. There's one thing I will give every single Conjuring movie is they have good villains. Annabelle, Annabelle 2, Annabelle 3 all have Annabelle. The Nun movies have the Nun, so those at least have good villains. Then you have Bathsheba from the first one, the Crooked Man, Billy, and the Nun in the second one. Then you get, in the new one, you get Annabelle again, and in the Curse of La Llorona, you get the Bride. So, I couldn't even tell you the name of the villain in this one. That's how forgettable they are. The villain, it's just not good. It's not good. It really, this one probably should be lower because it offends me more. I personally hate it more than a lot of the other ones that are lower, but I would, I guess, rather rewatch it because it's less terrible. Coming in at number 6, the one I have the least to say, The Curse of La Llorona. Now, this is not a bad movie, but it's also far from a good movie. There's nothing that I hate, and there's nothing that I like. I don't have any feelings either way towards this movie. It's just, if someone put it on, sure, it'll kill 2 hours, I'll watch it, it's not gonna blow me away. The characters were pretty decent. It just plays it so safe. Like, it doesn't try anything. It doesn't try anything new. You get this actual pretty good origin story. Like, the only part of the movie that I really liked was the bride's origin story, and you get that, and then you just don't do anything with it. It's just the most basic, stereotypical demon ghost movie you've ever seen in your life. Like, you could have told me that I was watching Ouija, the movie Ouija, and I would have believed you. Coming in at number 5, I have Annabelle Comes Home, Annabelle 3. There is 2 sides of this movie. One, you have just having fun with how insane this movie is. There is so much stuff because they keep like touching things in the Warrens' room, and demons keep coming out, and there's so many different stuff, so many different things just all over the yard and outside and in the house and everywhere, and you get all this stuff, and you can just have fun with it. You can go along with the ride with it, but it feels very overstuffed. That's the other side, is because they try to cram so much stuff into this and try to give you so many new origin stories for different demons that you just end up being like, okay, just settle down, go in depth to one demon, and go back to Annabelle. Annabelle is barely even the main character of this movie. Well, I guess besides the main girls. Like, she's barely even the main villain of this movie. That's the thing. Um, there's it tries a lot. It tries a lot. So I'll give it that. Like, The Curse of La Llorona didn't try anything. This tries a lot. It's just, unfortunately, some of it didn't really work for me. I think that the humor in this movie works. I think it's funny. I like that we get more of Judy. Annabelle's still creepy. It's, as I said, it's fun. It's crazy as hell. But the biggest complaint I have for this movie is the characters are idiotic. Like, some of the dumbest characters I have ever seen in horror movie history. Besides Aaron from Creep, I would genuinely consider the, like, friend in this movie the dumbest character to ever come out of a horror movie, period. Coming in at number 4, I have Annabelle 2, Annabelle Creation. Now, this is technically not Annabelle 2. It would technically be Annabelle 1 because it's a prequel to the original Annabelle because, as I said, it makes the original movie make sense. This is the only, for a while, I considered the only other good Conjuring movie besides the first 2 Conjuring. Obviously, another one has got up in there now, but I still like it. I still think it's good. It's a solid Annabelle movie. You get the scariest version of Annabelle that we've gotten since the opening scene of the original Conjuring. I love one of my favorite lines from any horror villain in history is when they're like, "What do you want?" "Your soul." It's just it's so funny. Like, it's funny and terrifying at the same time. As I said, it's scary. You actually have stakes. Like, it feels like there's actually, like, the characters are actively in peril as it happens. It plays it safe with some scenes, but that's what you gotta do with these movies sometimes. You gotta try some new things, but don't completely go overboard on it. So they play it safe. It's not anything amazing. I'm not gonna say it's like a 5-star movie, but it's enjoyable. It does what it needs to do. It makes the original somewhat watchable, so I like it. The emotions are actually pretty good in this movie too. It has some good emotional scenes as well as it has pretty good characters. So I think Annabelle Creation, as far as Conjuring movies besides the Conjuring movies, the best. Coming in at number 3, maybe it's recency bias, maybe it's my anticipation for the movie, but I'm going with Conjuring: The Last Rites. Now, as I said, this was my most anticipated film of the year, so I was very excited to go see it. I tried to see it in theaters once. The theater was so awful that I left. Then I saw it again, and it was amazing. I really, really like how they wrap up the story of The Conjuring. It feels so good to wrap up Ed and Lorraine's story finally. You get Judy back, who is now a full-grown adult, and being married to Tony, who is another great character. I love their interactions. I love Ed and Tony's interactions. I love the humor in this movie. I thought it was genuinely funny. As I said, love the conclusion, the way it wraps everything up. So I love the cameos at the end from the characters from the previous 3. The opening scene is amazing. Annabelle coming back is such a warranted and great fan service moment that I really, really loved. Granted, if you're paying attention, you could probably figure out it was Annabelle by the time the reveal happens because, you know, it's after Judy, but still a great reveal. There were some very good scares in this. I think the scene where the one girl, like, gets glass shards in her throat and just starts vomiting up blood is great. I think some of the CGI blood, not in that scene, but in other scenes, doesn't look fantastic, but overall, I thought it was pretty good. And there's one more compliment I want to talk about, but I want to talk about the things I didn't love about the movie, because obviously it's not perfect. It's at number 3. It's not my favorite, but I did really enjoy it. There is some dumb scenes, obviously. There's some dumb scenes in pretty much all of these, even the ones I have higher. It's very repetitive and derivative of the first 3 movies. There is so many scenes in this where I was like, yeah, it's just what they did in the first movie. Like when Lorraine is like, the demons of this house, they're not the real villains. They're just being used by the real demon. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what Valak was doing in The Conjuring 2. How is that supposed to be a twist? Like, you're just using the same twist. It's not effective. So some of it didn't work. And as I said, like, it's very derivative, repetitive. Like, you know, in the last 3 movies, or the last 2, it's like, oh, Ed and Lorraine don't want to do it anymore. They're retired, but oh, this family convinced them, and now they're back. And that happens in this movie too. The main family is pretty good, but they get sidelined later in the movie, which is kind of fine because you get more of Ed and Lorraine, which is what you're here for. This is the conclusion of their story, not the family story, which actually I don't know if I mentioned it, but in The Conjuring 3, the family is so forgettable, which is something that I love about these first three, is that the families are fantastic and you really care for them. But in the third one doesn't. And Ed's heart problem thing, I was the whole movie, like the second he's at the doctor's office, you're like, oh, well, he's gonna have a heart attack in the third act, right? And yeah, he just, like, it keeps coming back where it's like, he's like, ooh, and you're like, yeah, he's gonna have a heart attack. They gotta keep reminding us so that we know. And it just, he ended up kind of having a heart attack, but also kind of not. So it felt like it didn't really go anywhere, but I loved a lot of what this movie did, but a lot of it didn't work for me as well. The priest, that scene's just not my favorite. I thought it was fine. I didn't love it. But the main compliment I have for this movie, that I think this is, like, when I saw this opening scene, I was like, this could be the best Conjuring movie. Like, this has potential. Because the entire time throughout this series, Ed and Lorraine and other characters talk about the case that broke them, the case that they never went back to, the one that really, really shook them. And you're like, oh my God, what could have possibly happened at that case? Like, I mean, you see The Conjuring 1, The Conjuring 2, The Conjuring 3, Annabelle Comes Home. What could possibly be worse than that? Like, that seems pretty bad. And you get this opening scene where you see that. You see Lorraine going up and touching the mirror, and then she goes into labor and she almost loses her daughter. And I'm getting chills just talking about it. Like, I almost cried in the theater during this opening scene when she's giving birth, and they're like, the doctors don't know what to say. They're like, yeah, it looks like she's stillborn. So they give Lorraine the baby, and in that moment, that was when I started crying. Like, I was like, this opening scene is so good. Like, I completely understand why they're so horrified of this case. They almost lost their daughter. Coming in at number 2, this was the hardest I've ever had. Like, the hardest choice I've ever had in any of these rankings, because I love the first 2 Conjuring movies so much. And I wrote it down that I had The Conjuring 2 at number 2. But the more I thought about it, number 2 is going to be the original Conjuring. I love this movie. I have gone on record multiple times saying that this is one of my absolute favorite horror movies ever. I love it. It's horrifying. And it is. It's scary as hell. The hide and clap scene, the Bathsheba in the closet, it's terrifying. Ed and Lorraine, great. The apparition of the ghost hanging from the tree, great. It's a great origin story for the demon, amazing. But then I rewatched it, and it just kind of felt like the magic I had the first time wasn't all there. And like, the family's great. I love so much about this movie. Like, it is still 4.5, 5-star movie. The only complaint I've ever had for it is that it's not funny. Like, they try humor, it doesn't work, but on rewatch, I just didn't love it as much as I loved The Conjuring 2. It's amazing, the family's great, Ed and Lorraine are great, scary, the hide and clap scene, obviously one of my favorite scenes in horror history, but yeah, it's gonna be number 2. This time around, number 1, The Conjuring 2. I am just as surprised as you are. I love The Conjuring, like, a lot, but just going through and thinking about it, The Conjuring 2 has so much more to offer. Like, you have Ed and Lorraine at their absolute best. They are at their most lovable in this. Ed is, singing with the guitar in the living room, and they're making breakfast for him, and Lorraine is on the swing set talking to the kids, and it's just every scene with them and one of the kids, or them and the family, is so heartfelt and amazing. And this movie is scary. It's terrifying. The nun in the hallway, I've always said, is one of the scariest moments in any horror movie ever. Like, that is terrifying. The nun is so good in this movie. It just sucks that her prequels are terrible. because she's so good in this. And you get more of Ed and Lorraine with their daughter, so that's always great. You get another great family that I honestly think I like more than the family in the original, just because there's so many people in that original family that you get to know like two of them, but in this one you get to know all of them. I think the main girl is amazing in her acting and her character. You just love this family so much. I love the subplot where they don't know if this girl is faking it or not. That's an amazing part of this movie that I always really resonate with, because like it's so good the way that, you know, nobody believes her, and even her own family is starting to kind of doubt her, and Ed and Lorraine even doubt her. So like it's just so good the way that the demon just makes her seem like she's faking it. And the Crooked Man's great, Valak is great, this movie is great. That's gonna be for today's video. Remember, if you did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe so I want to see more videos like it in the future. Comment down below some more video ideas for me or your own ranking of these 10 movies. Otherwise, you can hit the bell notification to be notified when I post any brand new videos. And until next time, I'm Ethan Horror. This has been Ethan Horror. See you in the next one.